Yo, what's up guys? Today we're looking at the infamous game Payday 3. This was a highly anticipated game that we waited a decade for. I'm sure most of you know how much people are trashing this game, but is it as bad as people say? Let's find out. You see, I'm not normally into buying new AAA games and I don't get hyped for new games anymore, but I make a couple of exceptions every now and then, and I've had my eye on Killing Floor 3 and Payday 3. So we definitely need to talk about the horrific launch we had with Payday 3. I expect AAA games, or at least in this case AA games, to have buggy or bad launches, but Payday 3 takes the stereotype to the next level. It didn't even work for the first 2 days. It was just a menu simulator. It was playable by the 3rd day, but it was still having some problems and didn't load as fast as you'd like. It just wasn't a smooth launch. There's a good reason why this game started with mostly negative reviews. And after seeing the praise and love for BattleBit Remastered, which is still a great game, I'm sure some developer's rubbing his hands together thinking of ideas to make a better Payday game. I mean, there might already be competition. I've never played this, but just like BattleBit, this game looks pretty appetizing. All I'm saying is Deep Silver or Starbreeze better step it up, whichever one is making the bad decisions. So we had a typical AAA launch. It's not the end of the world, right? The game is pretty playable now. I'm able to load into games, which isn't good that I have to even mention that, but luckily this is just a first impressions review.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Didn't say this before.
We're actually in a fucking game.
I hope you recorded.
I recorded the miracle.
But now that we're able to play the game, how are we feeling? Is it good? Is it trash? Well, let's start with some of the basics. One of the first things I noticed is that the shooting felt pretty good. The gunplay feels really nice and smooth, even though some of the enemies can soak up your bullets. Headshots do a lot of damage though. The enemies seem mostly the same, but with some new mechanics and slightly different things about them. The cloaker is definitely a piece of shit though.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I forgot you. Oh, fuck!
People say the graphics are a noticeable improvement compared to Payday 2, but I haven't played that game in a long time, so I'll take the community's word for it. Personally, the graphics don't blow me away, but graphics aren't a big deal to me. Something more important is the presentation, and I guess Payday 3 does alright. I do like some of the settings, like the different cities and of course the banks and museums. There can be a decent amount of attention to detail, but if you try to test some specific things like shooting water coolers or smaller objects, then you might get disappointed.
Yo, can this car run me over? Do it, bitch.
But at least you can shoot the fire extinguishers. They can come in handy, but don't let them take you out by surprise.
Oh!
And if you're quick enough, I like that you're now able to slide, and I wish it was a little faster, but the gameplay and movement feel pretty fast and smooth already. It feels familiar but fresh. I don't normally play stealth games, but I do like some stealth sections in other games. It reminds me of liking driving sections, but not playing many driving games. And Payday 3 is a good game to get back into the sneaky side of things. A lot of the levels and objectives are pretty simple, but it varies from mission to mission and whether if you want to do it stealthy or not. It can be really satisfying to finish a level, especially on your own without having to look anything up.
Ayy.
But on the flip side, I had to look up some of the less straightforward parts on certain missions. I know it's me just being bad, but it is what it is. I like most of the levels that I played and they can be more fun once you learn them. Luckily, Payday 3 has some form of crossplay, so I was able to play these missions with a friend who got the game on Game Pass, which seems smart for those of you who are on the fence with this game.
I didn't even see this guy. Fuck.
He was just vibing. I hate clowns.
This is definitely one of those games that can be more fun with friends. It can even be more useful having multiple people carry the loot. I just wish my friend didn't suck. So it might be useful to play with randoms, at least if they know what they're doing. I don't trust people, so I only played the loud mission Road Rage. And since this game is on Game Pass, I only played with console players, specifically Xbox players.
Robin the Hood 96 and Bustin 20. Fucking Xbox ass names.
And man, get your console peasant ass away from me. Nah, I'm just playing. But speaking of PC Master Race, this game ran pretty well on my PC and here's my specs. Not anything too crazy, but still looking pretty good. I'm able to run this game on high and record with no problems. It runs pretty well and I didn't think it was too expensive either. $40 for a big new game isn't bad considering $70 is the price for new AAA games now, I guess. And my gut tells me not to pre-order games anymore or get the gold edition of a game either. Payday 3 has a season pass and I'm not really tempted to get it. I don't plan on sucking this game dry of its content. I'll just play it casually and wait to see how things turn out. At least there's no microtransactions. At least at launch. It's a good sign that there's no microtransactions right now, but who knows how long until they add some. We all know how many Payday 2 has, but I don't mind cool little DLCs or even big DLCs if they're worth it. At launch, we only have 8 missions, and I've played almost all of them at about 10 hours of gameplay, so hopefully the Season Pass brings something to the table, but that begs the question, is Payday 3 worth the money?
There's a window right here. Well, there's a guy right there. Dylan, he's literally right. Dude, he's grabbed his dick. What the fuck is going on here?
Well, that depends on this next part I'm gonna get into, and that's the progression, challenges, skills, leveling up, your loadout, and everything that keeps you motivated to keep playing. At launch, we have over 1,000 challenges, and I didn't read much of them, but it looks like a lot to get into. I've heard some pros and cons with how the challenges work compared to Payday 2, but it still looks like a lot to get into.
Yeah, look at all these challenges and shit. Hell yeah.
And like a lot of modern shooters, here we have the create a class loadout. You can customize and level up your guns, which I like. You can add cosmetics to them, and I hope they make it so you can buy them once and keep them instead of having them one at a time. You can also level up yourself and unlock new guns, body armor, and gadgets. Not to mention the vendor, which is where you can get and can see all the weapons you're looking forward to. I like when games have that money system like Black Ops 1. And of course we have the skills to grind for. I'm still learning them, but it's fun casually picking and unlocking them. I've been trying to avoid videos that tell me the best perks and the best guns for a more authentic experience, but I might start watching them soon. I've only been playing on normal and sometimes hard, but there is value and new challenge to playing on harder difficulties, so that can be seen as content too. At the end of the day, for $40 and 40 gigs, I think I'll get at least 40 hours. So if the launch wasn't that good, but the game has enough value, what's really wrong with the game? Well, I'll get into the main part about it after, but I'll start with the smaller things I notice.
Look at the tires of the car.
You noticed that? What the fuck?
Like when you first load into the game, it just doesn't hit you as hard as it should. The Payday 2 home screen looks way better, and the UI is a little weird and awkward, but it gets the job done. The AI is also not as good. To be fair, their strength comes in numbers and each individual cop doesn't matter as much, but you can also argue with so many cops the AI should just be better. It's random, but I never used the overkill weapon yet. I feel like it should be exciting and a badass moment, but I just never notice it. There were some slight glitches and unpolished moments, but nothing too crazy. I also wish some of the objectives and instructions were more straightforward to avoid looking things up, but maybe I just suck. I had a fair share of funny moments with a friend, so it'd be cool if there were more social features and people communicating like in BattleBit.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh no, not again, not.
And of course, we have the whole online-only controversy and everything negative that comes from that. That's probably why this game had such a bad launch. I won't get too into it, I just know it's not a good sign for AAA games that don't need them. Not to mention that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy with it too. And I'm sure some people would be asking for more missions to play, but I think the biggest thing holding Payday 3 back other than the shitty launch is the disappointing 10-year hype. Think about it. The community had to wait 10 years for this? Some people would call this Payday 2.5. Payday 2 had a decade of new content and updates. There were high hopes for a grand trilogy. This shit was supposed to be magical. And going from that to this, I can understand why some people are disappointed. Even if the launch went well, it still might have gotten mixed reviews. I didn't play the beta, but I think it got better feedback because it had less issues. Payday 2 is a classic and hard to compete with. It's almost like Valve releasing any third game ever. Kinda like a Valve game, Payday 2 is a classic that's still popular. There were many times that Payday 2 had more players than Payday 3 at launch. And let's get into the player count real quick. I know it's early to check on this kind of thing, but it's still interesting to know that this game started and peaked at 69,000 players. You can't make this shit up. And that's not even counting the console peasants who got this game on Game Pass. It's been at an average of 20 to 30,000 players. At launch, when this game had less than 20,000 players, I knew it wasn't working. Not the best or worst launch when it comes to the numbers. It's actually pretty similar to Payday 2's launch, except I'm willing to bet a bunch of people refunded Payday 3, and let's see if Payday 3 hits that 200,000 player peak like Payday 2 did. I'm sure Payday 3 will have some success over time, but that transitions into the next question, which is, will it get any better? Do things actually get better, or is it all a lie you tell yourself to hide from the truth knowing you should end it all? Oh shit, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so kinda like Payday 2, I think this game will get tons of updates and content over time. I don't know if it'll be as good or what, but this definitely seems like a game that'll be more worth it over time. The later you watch this review, there's only gonna be more updates and a lower price. I don't remember if Payday 2 had a bad launch, but Battlefield 4 did, and after a while, people started saying it's one of the best Battlefield games ever. I can imagine a similar story with Payday 3. Or it might end up like 2042. Seems better than it was at launch, but still not the best. I just hope and don't think it'll end up like Back 4 Blood. That game only got updated for a year. It'll be interesting to see if Payday 3 climbs out of those negative reviews and becomes great or even one of the best Payday games, or if it stays like this and continues to disappoint people. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa!
There goes the manager.
What?
Well, manager's dead. We won't have to answer a radio.
Fuck.
But that begs and tortures the final question out of me. Is Payday 3 garbage and is it worth playing? Well, if you were playing Payday 2 this whole time waiting for Payday 3 and you're disappointed with a bad taste in your mouth, then probably not. But if you're pretty casual or really hyped about Payday 3, then why not? I've been casually having fun with it and I don't let hype disappoint me anymore. I understand there's 1,000,001 reasons to rant about this game, I just don't think the game itself is that bad. I'm just giving my perspective and first impressions. This game definitely doesn't replace Payday 2 as a whole, but I think it can climb its way up to being a worthy competitor for the best Payday game. It's up to you whether you want to be a part of that journey right now, or wait for all the updates, lower price, and for all the hype to die down. So with all that being said, it's a very hesitant yes, this garbage is worth playing. It's all a matter of hype and perspective. There's enough initial content to justify the reasonable price, so it's up to you. One man's trash is another man's treasure, so it's worth it for me. This is only my first impression, so don't throw too many tomatoes and boo at me. I'm not too picky if it's the type of game I enjoy, and I wanted to get out a video fast enough. I'm sure I might be back to make a more experienced review. You should drop a comment telling me what you think about Payday 3. I know some of you have much stronger opinions than me. I want to know what some of the Payday veterans think. The more invested you are, the stronger opinion you might have. I'll be a happy casual for now. And leave a like if you respect my opinion or if you at least enjoyed the video. The bad launch held me back and stalled this video, so any support you give is appreciated.
Oh god, oh fuck! Why? Why me?
Well, the launch was disappointing, but I care more about that slow burn. I'm interested to see how Payday 3 turns out over time, and I'm sure it'll be a journey being along for the ride. Gotta take the good with the bad, right? Well, thanks for watching and being my favorite kind of viewer for making it this far. Let's see if Payday 3 stands the test of time. Peace.